Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 9th of April, another month flying away, the 134th episode of Grit and Good News. We're broadcasting live from our studios in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. I'm your co-host, Jeff Lynch. I've kind of got my master's commentator, quietish
Yeah.
voice. Rita always accusing me of talking too fast. And when I got my report card back from my mom when I was like 50 years old, my kindergarten teacher said, Jeff is still struggling to find his inside voice. Ouch. Ouch. Anyway, I'm Jeff Lynch. There's our man Sam Brooks. To my right is our man Scott Brooks. Short on the intros today.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I can see that we have a number of people here that aren't usually here, and it's amazing what Scarborough Fair tickets will do to people. So we appreciate you being here. We hope you can watch as much as possible. Thank you for Natalia. I think that's probably how you say it, or
Yes,
Natalia.
that
We
is.
and Glinda, Amber, Amy. We're glad you're here. We have several others that are typically here, so we'll say hello to them when they arrive. But we do have Scarborough tickets to give away. But let me first say we are thankful that everybody's here. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday from noon to 1 o'clock. It's really a wide open, transparent, deeply honest conversation about it, all sorts of things. Some rather lighthearted, some rather deep and profound. But we like to just talk and share and make it a platform by which or through which people can learn things that maybe they didn't otherwise learn, and that we can too, based on the responses. So we're glad that you're here. You can also subscribe to us. You can get the show in a subscription package, but in a subscription package are our columns that we write, our opinion poems that we write. I think we're going to be adding Sammy's sports columns to it very soon. Uh, Links to all sorts of things. So for $5 a month on Substack.com, you go there, search Great and Good News, you will find our brand, and you'll be able to subscribe. You'll get a newsletter with all the stuff I just mentioned every Monday morning before you get up, and every Friday morning before you get up. So it'll be there waiting on you. So
And the thing about that Substack is once you go on and subscribe, and then you see the categories of things that people write about,
yeah,
it is so diverse. And if you can't find a category that really lights your fire, you
yeah.
got nothing going on in your life.
Yeah, Substack is a place for writers to go where you can capture a bunch of quality material. We like to believe ours is part of that. So check us out on Substack, substack.com, and just search Great and Good News. You'll see us there. All right, here's how we're going to do the Scarborough tickets before we get to our agenda today. We're going to, everybody that's here, that's asked, and I'm going to say your name, and Kennedy is listening, so Kennedy will make sure that she reserves the number that you've requested. So here's what we're going to do. Sammy, am I seeing the very top name? Amber, I mean Amy is what I see here. Oh, I don't see her. So okay, there I see it now. Let me just start with what I see at the very top. So Amy Stamper would love 4 tickets, please. We have a first timer. All right, you have 4 tickets. They're digital, so I'll leave it up to Kennedy, our office manager, to be able to communicate and get them to you. So that's 4. Natalie Perez, sneaking in. I'm at work, so we won't tell anybody. So we'll give you 4. Glenda Curry, I would love to go see the fair. So 4, you have those. Did I say Amber? No. Okay, Amber 4. Tell me who did I say?
Johanna, Nina,
Wait a minute. Yeah, did I already say Natalia? All right, don't let me, Sammy, write these down that I've given away. So, uh, Glenda, Amber Star, 4 and 4. And I said one earlier at the top. I can't see that though.
that Glenda is a repeat.
Okay, so Amy has the 4, Glenda 4, Amber 4, Natalia. How many? Let's see. How many does Natalia want? All right, 4 for Natalia. Johanna Nino, family of 5 here. You have your 5. Lily Marie has 4. Susie Pascal Waldo, 6 tickets to the fair, please. You got them. We already did Amy Stamper. Let's see. MD Taylor, 3. You've got M3 MD. Melissa Daniels, you have 3. And I believe everything else is repetitive. So everybody that I mentioned there, you have your tickets that you requested. Let me just make sure that you have the number to our main office number, so that you can, if there's any confusion, you can reach out to Kennedy. It's 972 316 7707. 972-316-7707. You can call if there's any confusion. You could call and ask for Kennedy. Uh, Kennedy's a precious young lady. So there you go. And if you need to email Kennedy, it's Kennedy, Kennedy, at waxahachiesun.com. So I think we've got everybody covered.
Nice to see Johanna being a first timer here.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know
So
what? We haven't seen these names. It's amazing that they're coming out because of tickets and they're picking that
that's
up
okay.
from the paper,
Yeah.
but we want you to come and listen
Yeah,
regularly.
we'd love to have you. So you again, the show's live at noon to 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but most people, because of schedules, as some of you have alluded to here, most people watch it on our YouTube channel, Waxahachie Sun, on our Facebook page under Waxahachie Sun, on what else, Sammy? Instagram, Twitch, so you can watch them later, and scroll through and go faster or hone in on something that we've talked about, whatever. So there you go. That's how you can do it. Amber says, can you put it in the chat how to get it? It keeps breaking up on my end. Again, Kennedy is listening, so she will take care of making sure that you get yours. Ashlyn Barber wants 8. Now, Ashlyn, we tried to put a limit on how many we give away. I'll go ahead and say for Kennedy to hear this that we'll try to give you 8, but I'll let Kennedy handle that. We're just here to announce and make sure that you know you have tickets available. But Kennedy, we'll make sure.
Kimberly Gonzalez is a new one, and
Yeah.
then
So for
we won't
Kimberly,
announce them all till
write
the
that
end of the
down.
show.
Kimberly Gonzalez. So you have the 4, and Ashlyn will try to do your 8. Sammy, write down Ashlyn. So there you go. All right. So that's all the names I see so far on our list. That all said, we like to start our show with the number of episode that we're on and finding famous sports numbers across all 4 sports that wear that same number. Of course, we're 134, so nobody wears 134, but they do wear 34. So Sammy always starts with football, so 34, right?
Yep.
I will say, better be in there, Earl
Campbell,
Campbell,
He is. He is.
Rick, the dude, the pothead from USC,
Williams.
Williams.
Well, don't get them all. Don't get
Wait a
them
minute,
all.
no, no, wait.
What about Walter Sweetness Payton?
Yeah,
There we
he's
go.
there.
Well, I usually don't jump in on these.
Yeah.
So let's see, who else can we think
It's
of
a
that
running
has
back number.
34?
There's a big one. One of the best running backs, probably top 8 running backs ever.
Peterson? No, not Peterson.
He wore black.
Raiders. Oh, Bo
Bar-
Jackson.
Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
all right. So I'll start with Walter Payton. We got Earl
Campbell.
Campbell, Joe Perry for the 49ers, Thurman Thomas
Yeah, for
played for the
Bills.
Bills, Ricky Williams, Bo Jackson, and Herschel Walker for the
Yes.
Cowboys.
Very good.
And
Leanne
then
Castillo
the
gets,
Viking after that.
yeah, Leanne, you have 8 tickets, so be sure to communicate with Kennedy. All right, Sammy, what
All right,
next?
NBA,
NBA 34, Ray Allen.
Ray Allen. Yeah.
Is he on there?
Yeah, he's on there.
Let's see, Shaquille.
Yeah. I'll make you stop there because we only have like
Okay.
5. Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal,
The Dream.
Charles Barkley, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and currently Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Very good.
Was
Okay.
Charles Barkley the round mound of
He
rebound?
was one of his names.
All right, MLB,
MLB 34, Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
Jeff's got on a shirt that has 34 on it.
Is it visible?
It
yeah.
is.
Can you see it?
It is. Yeah.
All right. So Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. Yep.
I can't think of any.
All right, we
other.
got Kirby Puckett
Okay.
for the Twins. We got David Ortiz for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Fernando Venezuela
Yep.
for the Dodgers. We got Raleigh Fingers
Yes.
for the Athletics.
You,
That
you know
is
what's cool about him is he have a handlebar mustache.
Raleigh Fingers. That is
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Yeah.
Okay. Roy Halladay. Oh, and I end with Roy Halladay for the Phillies.
How about the defining characteristic of Fernando Valenzuela?
I used to look up at the brim of his hat, and its pitch, he would do just what you just did.
Why?
He was a pitcher for the Dodgers when I was your
Why
age,
would he
and I
do
lived
that?
out there. That's just a habit.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he was looking at heaven, really.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but outfielders always pull out a card or look in their hat. What are they
They're
looking at?
looking at the report on what the batter normally does, so it
Like
tells
where
them
he
where to
hits?
position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, going to
Corey
NHL.
Good
Seager does
question.
it. Corey Seager does that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Some of
Tells him
them
where
like
to.
take their hats off and look right here. It's
Yeah.
like, what are they doing?
Well, the card's inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, NHL.
34, Austin Matthews
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Maple Leafs.
Wow, good job. Okay, I'll start with Austin Matthews. We got Mika Kurprasov for the Flames. Oh man, we got John Van Biesbroek.
Van Beesbrock.
Van Viesbroek.
Van Viesbroek for the Rangers. And then I end with Vaclav Nedomensky for the Rangers. For some reason, my source only gave me 4.
Well, that's probably accurate.
It was short, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
All right, very good, Sam. You're getting better with those names. Let's talk about the Masters real quick. It is beautiful. I checked the weather. One of my favorite events in all the sports is the Masters. There's not, as they
Like no
say,
other.
nothing unlike any other. Uh, a week in Augusta, Georgia, which is nothing of much of a city, frankly, but the Masters is there, so that's what it's synonymous with. But it's this week, started this morning. It's beautiful weather all 4 days, uh, and I just love it. And a little side story here is my dad, who I was deeply close to, and he was my dad until we evolved into friends and best friends at that. I always hear, not always, but I often hear dads that have young children say, "He's my best friend," and I'm like, that ain't cool, dude. Your son needs you to be his father, not his best friend, particularly if he's 8 years old. So I'm not into that. But as we get older with our parents, we can become very close friends, and that's the way it happened with me and my dad. It's happening with me and Sam as well as Sammy gets older. But uh, my dad passed away in February of 2000, and we had tickets. The only time I've ever had tickets to go to the Masters was that year. And Dad, essentially on his deathbed, which is the bed in which he a few days later passed away, said, "Scott, pick one of your friends and go." And I said, "You know what, Dad? Either you're going with me or I'm not going." And so I didn't go, and I still have those tickets somewhere, but I've never been. But it reminds me a lot of my dad, who was a golf. He's obsessed with golf. But anyway, the Masters starts today. We're in a couple of pools. We're looking forward to that. Sammy's going to play you a video. If you'll go ahead and cue it up, Sam. Video 1. This is a little bit of information about the Masters tournament, Augusta National Golf Course, which back in the day was $300,000 just for initiation fee. I don't know what it costs to remain a member there, but very, very select. And I still
With a
they don't accept.
nationwide patronage.
What's that?
A ton of those members aren't from
Yeah,
Augusta. They're from
they're
all over the
world,
country
well, in world,
and world.
but they don't allow women, and so that's a hard position that they've kept. So there you have that. But this is just there's a whole lot about the Masters tournament that's unique. Uh, Very small prices, low prices for food. The announcers can't say certain words. You can't run. You can't use your phone. Here are a few more that Sammy has on a video. So we're just going to let the video play. Thought you'd find it interesting. Go ahead, Sam. All right, so start that over and just say what they are, because I can't see them that far. What is that one?
So this one says even players who miss the cut at the Masters still
Make
walk
10 grand.
away with 10 grand.
Yeah,
Goodness
okay.
gracious. This says the concession stand food is wrapped in green packaging so it can't be seen on TV if somebody litters. That is interesting.
Wax paper, green wax paper.
That's interesting. The Masters will do $70 million in merch sales this week. $10 million per day, $1 million per hour, $16,000 per minute, and $277 every second.
Amazing.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
A 5-bedroom near Augusta goes for $30,000 during Masters Week. And brands, they'll drop 6 figures on bigger homes just to host events.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, it's amazing, but it's just part of a list of things you can't. There are no fans at the Masters; they're patrons.
Patrons.
You can't say the back nine. It is the other nine, I think, and you can't say final round. You can't say yeah, it's something along what
What
you can call the final day.
what happens if they do say that, like the announcers? What happens? Do they
Well,
just get cut?
they they have they have come down on some announcers. There was Gary, I forget his last name, but he's pretty popular, did a great job, but he once said that the master greens are so slick it's like putting in a bathtub, and the Masters kicked him off the broadcast
Like that day or like after the
after.
Masters? Yeah,
And so
okay.
he's never been back. But there are those you can't run. Matter of fact, a former golfer that former I don't know if he won in the past, Mark Calcavecchia, was on the grounds this week and was on his phone. You're not allowed to use phones, and they kicked him out.
He's a golfer?
He was.
Was a
He's an
golfer.
old. He's retired golfer. It's pretty
That
amazing.
is interesting.
Christine
Yeah.
De Leon, you can get 4, please. Again, just communicate with Kennedy, Katie. I can't remember if I think you popped up while we were just talking. You have 4 tickets. Make sure you communicate with Kennedy to get them. All right, Sam. So there you have it. Masters. We'll see who wins
Can
come
I carry on a
Sunday.
little bit more about pimento cheese?
Yeah.
So I brought these guys pimento cheese last year. My wife makes a great pimento cheese. Anybody can make it at home. You grate sharp cheddar and Colby. You put in pimentos and you put in a little garlic powder and mix it up. And let me tell you, having been there twice, if you watch it this weekend, I want you to listen to hear the birds chirp. And I'm telling you, if you've ever been there, if you open your windows or door and listen to the birds, put a pimento cheese sandwich in one hand and a cold beverage in the other, and close your eyes, you return to the Masters. Well, I gotta say,
I think those birds are piped in.
no way.
They are piped in.
No, I don't buy that.
Research it after this afternoon.
You need to, you prove that to me.
I'm sorry to bust your bubble on that, but it still sounds great. But they pipe in the bird noises. Well, how about
Sam,
Waxahachie
get
base?
on that.
How about Waxahachie baseball? 26-2 right now, ranked I think 3rd in the state of Texas, which is a big state, obviously. So our team is doing well. I know the girls softball team is doing well too, but they didn't update their schedule online, so I don't know what their record is. The play, I think the Waxahachie baseball is into the playoffs, and they were playing Skyline. I think that, so don't hold me to it. But congratulations to Waxahachie baseball.
Kennedy just sent me a text. She's getting calls right now, so she can't say anything. But we are officially out of tickets.
All right. So what I need to know is she needs to post that, but I don't know who on here can still get them. It's 2 8 at 12:18. Shannon Walker said she would love 6.
Okay, well,
That's the latest, and Amy Robards as well. So
these comments will be on after the show, so we can go on and look who
all right.
commented first. And
So Kennedy, again, if you need to talk to clarify with Kennedy, although she's probably gonna hate me for this, the number is 972-316-7707. You can just pick up the phone to be sure that you either have yours or don't, because we have a limited supply. And we're trying to give everybody here.
she said she will comment the winners.
Okay, so at some point this afternoon, on the same page that you're looking at this, Kennedy will provide you the winners.
The bird noises heard during the Masters broadcast are generally considered to be real, natural audio from the course rather than artificially piped in noises.
That's not
Thank
true.
you for
They're
your
piped in, I'm telling you.
dude.
I'm telling you.
Dude,
All
get
right.
a
So
real job.
Sammy's column this week is a very good column. It is on Jaden Ivey, the young NBA basketball player who stood up for his Christian beliefs with respect to LGBTQ and was cut or waived by the Chicago Bulls. So if you get a chance, you can read that. And those are our updates. I wanted to tell you something about baseball. Average. What is the average annual contract for a baseball player in Major League Baseball? What are they paid on an annual basis? The average amount.
That's tough because there's some bad baseball players out there.
There's some big ones.
I'll say like 18 million.
Average?
Yeah.
I,
Lost your mind,
I got
Sammy.
the average at 2.2.
5.34 million.
Well, yeah, I
5.3.
guess I haven't lost my mind. Baseball players like make the most
Yeah,
out
but
of the
those are few
NBA.
and far between. I mean, they do drive up the
Yeah,
average,
that's what
but
I was
what you have
thinking.
are players that sit on the bench
You get
that
like,
don't, like Jonah Heim is making $4 million a year, and and he doesn't play full time. There are players we've not heard of that are on the Rangers that
oh yeah. I wonder
ostensibly
what
are
the
Yeah.
making that.
minimum. Do you know what the minimum is?
Yeah, it used to
Like
be 1
900,000?
million something, a little over a million, 1.2 million, something like that.
Their roster size is 26, which is smaller in football, but bigger in basketball and bigger in hockey.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, I thought that would you'd find that interesting. Let me talk about a few just absurdities in America today. We call them tarnations, like Jed Clampett used to say in the Beverly Hillbillies. What in the tarnation is going on? I have the same question with these things, and we've had this on our list. We haven't talked about it yet, but I have to. Christy Noem, who was the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, recently canned, I guess is the harshest way of saying it. The easier way of saying it, better way probably, is that she got moved over to another job in Trump's administration. Her husband, it recently came out that her husband, his name is, oh, it doesn't really matter, but I thought Brian Nome has, it's been discovered that Brian Nome uh, is
It's a delicate.
Christy Nome's cross-dressing husband who has been caught in sending private messages to a number of women. The images were allegedly part of a trove of hundreds of messages sent between Brian Nome and three women. The father of three appeared to be pictured in hot pink underwear, wearing a skin-colored shirt with large faux breasts worn underneath. I've seen that picture, and it's like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Another image appeared to show Brian Noam posing with large fake breasts in a tight light blue T-shirt while making a kissy face. Trump told the Daily Mail he did not know about the photos and was surprised the Nome family confirmed their authenticity. And Christy Nome says that she did not know. So here's a guy. There's a pic. You can't see this very well, but this is a picture of her in a hearing, and he's sitting right behind her. Where is he? Oh, that's right there, and that's him as well. So this dude, the husband of a cabinet member of the United States government, is caught not just cross dressing, but sending them. I mean, it's sick enough to be a cross dresser. It's another thing to be sending those with no regard for whether or not they're going to be discovered. You got to be crazy. Anyway, so I thought you'd appreciate that. How about the Massachusetts mom? This is remember the case where the woman drowned her 4 or 5 kids years ago? Andrea, I forget her last name. There's another story out right now of a woman who killed her 3 children as a result of having postpartum depression. She then, after she killed her kids, jumped out, and the kids are little toddlers, jumped out a window of her home, second story window. She's now a paraplegic. But that's only part of the story. If you ask me, I get that depression and mental illness can do things to people to make them do things that putting them in the electric chair sounds like the right thing to do. But we do have to stop and say, wait a minute, is there is it possible that this person's mental capacity is truly to blame for what they just did? And if so, do we put them in an asylum? And so I tend to lean, particularly when it comes to killing the children. I don't think this is a far stretch of a position to say I don't care what's wrong with you. You killed kids. You go to the not just electric chair in 15 years. You go tomorrow. This woman has admitted it. Her husband was not there when it happened. Uh, So this mother, accused of strangling her 3 young children, is offering to formally admit she killed them in a dramatic legal move that could shift the focus of her trial to her mental state and potentially keep her out of prison. Now, I, I've never, some might argue I should be, but I've never been in an insane asylum. I've been to one as part of a college class experience, and I'm telling you, I'll never forget that. It's incredible. I don't know that I would want to be there, but I'd rather be there than in prison, I think. This young lady, Lindsay Clancy, who was a Duxbury, that's in Massachusetts, labor and delivery nurse. She delivered babies. Uh, is willing to formally admit in writing to her role in the killings, according to Emotion. Uh, and it shows a picture of her being wheeled into prison. If she is ultimately deemed, I'm sorry, wheeled into a courtroom. If she is ultimately deemed mentally unfit to stand trial, she could be committed to a secure mental health facility rather than face prison under Massachusetts law. Prosecutors have not agreed yet to the proposal. So, any thoughts on if you hear that a mentally ill woman killed her 3 children, all under the age of 5, I believe, and the key in the question is a mentally ill woman killed her 3 children. Should she be put in a mental institution? Your thoughts?
Well, you mean as opposed to being killed?
Or put in prison for life?
Yeah. That whole mental illness defense has always been controversial, and sometimes you really think that that's the case, and sometimes you think they're just trying to cop a plea type of deal. It's a hard issue.
Yeah. Sammy, what do you think?
No,
No, what?
she should go straight to prison or either a death penalty because if she was in court and she didn't know what was going on, couldn't form a sentence, just totally out of it. But if she's already, you said she admitted it or whatever, right?
She's willing to admit that she did it in return for a sentence in a
Yeah,
mental institution.
no,
That,
yeah.
that's working the plea. Yeah.
You got to be very out of it for me to even think about that. If it's kids, you got to go straight to prison.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. I wanted to share with you another story. The 77-year-old House Democrat facing a younger primary challenger or challengers, and he is from Connecticut. Representative John Larson has introduced 13 articles of impeachment against President Trump, citing the president's military intervention in Venezuela, the deployment of National Guard troops to cities across the country, and his executive order to curtail birthright citizenship, among other charges. Larson says Trump should is Larson also charged Trump with murder, war crimes, and piracy for ordering a naval blockade around Venezuela, targeting U.S. sanctioned oil tankers ahead of the U.S. capture of Maduro. Uh, I, every day, I said this the other day, every day I wake up and say, I think I've seen it all in life. And then along comes this Nimrod who says, well, because the president is doing such a great job at protecting us, he should be impeached.
This impeachment has gotten out of hand. It started really, I mean, it's happened historically a fair number of times, but it happened in the first Trump term, and then of course there was none of that inertia or initiative during the Biden day,
Well,
and
yeah.
now it's coming back. It's just that people are trying to politicize everything.
Yeah, it's the impeachment is like the opioid for the Democrats, one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
And they just don't realize how stupid they look. And this guy thinks because I guess he's compelled to do it because he's 77, he's been in Congress for 15 terms, which is 30 years, and he's got these young whippersnappers coming after him, so he's got to do something, compelling in his mind, and this is what
And
he
where was
does.
he from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Good
Susan.
enough to get elected 15 times. Not really good enough to. Had you ever heard him before this?
No,
And you keep
no.
pretty good handle on
Yeah,
politics. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
I mean we can't keep track of all our reps.
There's
It's,
435 of them.
it's all we can do to keep
There,
track of our senators. But
yeah, I mean, I don't, if I didn't know who Jake Elsey was, I
yeah,
wouldn't know who Jake Elsey
yeah,
was.
he's
S-
building a name at this point.
Susie Perales says, with respect to the mom being mentally ill and committing murder, you have to be mentally ill to do something like that. Yes, you do. Absolutely straight to jail. I'm an eye for an eye try kind of person. I'm with you on that. Casey says, right, definitely don't want to hear about that. I I would assume you're talking about the mother. Uh, it is it is it's just hard to imagine. I have become, as I've gotten older, obviously, I've always loved children and my children and would never do anything to hurt them intentionally, even when I might speak not derogatorily, but with a tone, I don't like that. Can you imagine the setting in which you're killing your children? You might be mentally ill, but you're killing a human being. It is so incredible. Yeah, the family. Janice says the family did not see that there was a problem. How do you? I mean, a husband. I don't want to blame the husband for it. He didn't do it, but if any of our spouses or Sammy's girlfriend, if or vice versa, if they noticed something was off about us, they wouldn't just act like ho hum. There would be something to be done, some intervention. But anyway, back to the Democrat wanting to impeach Trump. I tell you what, if we lose the midterms, it's going to be that nonstop, that
Yeah,
sort of thing. And let me just say here, one of the other stories out is now that Trump. If I just said to you guys, what was the left's response? We've actually covered it here. What was the left's response leading up to, say, this time last week? What was the response of the left with respect to what Trump's doing in Iran?
bitter.
Yeah, and it's war crimes, and he ought to be impeached. He's crazy. He's wanting to destroy civilization. He's saying things he shouldn't be saying. Blah 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 blah. And then we get to the point where Trump says we'll get it. We're working on a deal with Iran to ceasefire. And now what are they saying? They're calling him Taco Trump, which is oh, what is it? Taco stands for take chicken out. Trump is chickening out, whatever Trump something chickening out. And I'm like, wait a second. Just last week you were saying this is what he should be doing. He should be negotiating and trying to make a deal. He does it, and then you call him a chicken. Jimmy Kimmel, who's the biggest ass on the planet, did a monologue, which I've never found anything that he does to be funny. I've only seen it on clips, but he says that Trump is he should be criticized. He's a chicken. And yeah, here it is. Trump critics go from outrage over Iran threat to mocking him as chicken for not following through. Jimmy Kimmel said he opened his program Tuesday night by condemning Trump's threat, with a liberal late night host telling viewers he's against civilizations being annihilated before mocking the decision not to follow through with it. So all today, quote, this is from Jimmy Kimmel. So all day today, everyone, most notably the people of Iran, were wondering if their civilization was going to die tonight. Well, good news, it isn't. It didn't. It was Taco Tuesday of all Taco Tuesdays, Kimmel said. Trump decided not to drop the chalupa for at least another 2 weeks. This is how it goes every single time Trump says something insane. We all freak out, and then he backs off. I don't think he backs off because they freak out. He really doesn't care. He want to do a deal. So you either, I mean, the left, and I'm writing a column Monday for Monday's Great and Good News. It says the left is cornering themselves on being able to respond to anything that Trump does.
You had that early in that article when it's called him the liberal late night host.
Yeah,
Here's the deal. We didn't used to have
yeah,
liberal or conservative late night hosts. We
yeah,
had people that were there to make you laugh, entertain you, and interview celebs.
exactly. No doubt about it. All right. So how about this? DHS slams insane. Listen to this. 5-year plea deal for illegal immigrants who admitted fatal stabbing in Virginia. So these two bottom feeders um, are being offered what prosecutors call an insane plea deal to two illegal immigrants who admitted to a brutal murder. Um, the two guys, I don't need to say their names, who are both in the United States illegally, stabbed a man to death at a park and walking trail in Oakton, Virginia in July 2024, so 2 years ago. The victim's body was later discovered by a community member in a wooded area. Despite the severity of the crime, DHS says the two suspects have been offered a plea deal that would result in just 5 years in prison and the eventual release of the two monsters back on American streets. Now, many of you, we haven't talked about it in a number of months, but we're still hard at work on trying to get a young lady named Hannah Dillard out of an Oklahoma prison because of a severe, obnoxious, unethical sentence that was given to her by a jury who listened to local prosecutors here in Waxahachie and a judge who allowed that to happen. She had an uh, first time offense, drunk, hit 5 people on an interstate. Uh, no one passed away. There were a couple of severe injuries, but a non fatality, a first time offense. She got 12 years. She's still sitting in an Oklahoma prison after 4. And these two thugs kill somebody and the trying to make a plea deal with them for 5 years in prison. And then I better not say it because I got to face my friends at church, but that then they're free to, I guess, not while Trump's in office, obviously, but be free to, if Biden were in office, to still live in the United States. The world has gone upside down, and that's unacceptable. Last one I want to share with you. This is where our media, the mainstream media, is headed. I worked with a young, well, she wasn't young, but still not young. Neither am I. But the editor that I worked with and loved, and still in some ways do love her, in Buffalo, New York, for a number of years. She ended up going to the Washington Post and the New York Times. She has now taken the stance that it isn't necessarily a mandate that there's no bias in reporting, that we've come to a place in
This
America.
person here or the
No, the
lady
one
you
I'm
knew?
talking about,
Okay.
which is stunning to me. And this was a couple of years ago, and I called her out on it, but I still love her. But it's stunning to me that anybody in the media, whether it's a small community media company like ours or a mainstream media big company like the Buffalo News or the New York Times, the Washington Post, in this case, I'm going to share with you something from CNN that would say that it's okay to have biased reporting. It's not okay. Matter of fact, it's not okay. It it's never been okay. It's certainly not okay in today's societal atmosphere. But this is Dana Bash, who's on CNN, and I don't think she's ever told the truth in her life, frankly. But this is what she said this week: where once the journalistic mandate was often framed as presenting opposing viewpoints and allowing the audience to decide, Bash argues that such symmetry is no longer sufficient. She says that objective reporting now means explaining when a person says something false or misleading instead of presenting all sides. Objective reporting doesn't mean just giving all sides of the issue, said. Objective reporting now, rightly so, means explaining what somebody says when it's false or when it's not right or when it's misleading. That would be an that would be a column. That would be an op-ed piece.
That's a
So I
pile
think
of hogwash.
it is hogwash, and I think that all of us should be aware that what we see, I don't even, for me, if I read that it's from CNN or I watch that it's from CNN, the only reason I'm going to take it in and try to absorb it is because of the entertainment value, not for any veracity or truth. And so I don't even look at these things anymore. I don't in terms of wanting information, it's a no-brainer for me to say I should reject CNN. I don't want anything they have to say other than entertainment value.
Right. And the only reason I'm sitting in this chair, and whether you like me or not, I hope you do like me, is that I submitted a poem to the paper. It was published in April of 2021, 5 years ago. And that's when I started to get to know Scott and become friends. And then we did this, and it's called The Paper. Of course, he liked it because it was about the paper. And I talked about my love of the paper. And the quote in here that I'd like to share is that George B. Dealey, yes, of Dealey Plaza fame, founded the Dallas Morning News in 1885. His founding principle was that the newspaper must acknowledge the right of the people to get from the newspaper both sides of every important question. I go on and on about how that's gone and was
Yeah.
gone in 5 years ago is gone now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's gone, and it's just
one of the jokes is that the reason newspaper pages are down in the count, is because only one side of the story is being told.
right.
And so when we're working on a number of stories, one out of Midlothian, we're working on some other stories that are very important. We tell the story. It's not a matter of both sides. It's just tell the story. If you're a good reporter and you're truthful and you're honest and accurate, you'll just tell the story. And in telling that story, you present the full scope of it, whether in one article or in a series of them. And the reader, you all can decide whether or not that is true and do your own research. If I or you or Sammy, like with uh, what's his name, Jordan Ivy, is that his first name? Jaden Ivy. Jaden. The truth is that Jaden Ivy said something about his Christian beliefs. Those are the facts. We know he got cut. Those are the facts. Sammy then opines on it and says, "This is what I think." That's why it's important to have an op-ed page in the newspaper, because people need to be jarred into thinking more critically about something, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And in today's world, you have to shop your news sources to find one that shares your opinion. And then, sadly, now you're just getting a reinforcement of your own opinion
Yeah.
instead of a blend.
Yeah, that's called the echo chamber. So everybody on I'm sorry, on MSN now, which used to be MSNBC, they all say the same thing. So they're bolstering each other. They're on a planet somewhere out in the ozone, and they think they're in the mainstream because they continuously support one another. It's called the echo chamber, and the echo chamber any echo chamber must have people with opposing ideas or thoughts or views, so that you can make sure you're not just succumbing to being patted on the back all the time. It's the equivalent of the yes man theory. In my, I mean, do I read comments to my columns? Absolutely. On occasion, when I'm told there are certain, Scott, look at this one, Scott, look at that one, I'll look at them. And if it opposes me, my first inclination as a human being is to say, "Wow, I'll get you, sucker." And I got to stop and just say, well, that's their opinion. They see it different. Is there any reason for me to rethink my position? Sammy came to me this morning after his second column ever published yesterday, and said, "I got a guy that disagrees with me." And of course, Sammy's farther along than I was when I was 21. Sammy doesn't respond to that, but the guy positioned it well and was kind and respectful. But that's what we want. We want to be able to look at that and say, "Wait a minute, is he right? Should I give that more thought? Should I recognize that?" Um, and so otherwise, Sammy's echo chamber is going to be 100% that he's always right.
And thank God that guy wrote that to help him think through.
Exactly. And it wasn't short either. The guy took some thoughtful time to
Yeah.
do it. That's what we need. All right. So the question here. So wait a minute, Sammy. Let's go back to tell me what videos we have. The ones that I sent to you. Use your mic. Use your mic. Oh yeah.
Baseball. We
Yeah.
have Dale Hansen, right?
Yeah. Let me
The
stop you there.
greatness of Dale
Yeah,
Hansen.
Dale Hansen is the former WFAA sports anchor. Sports anchor in Dallas. He's since retired. He lives here out at the lake in Waxahachie. He is a liberal. I don't mind saying that. So he and I don't necessarily agree on those uh, things. However, we can agree, at least I, with many others. I'm sure those of you in this room. He is an excellent sports anchor. He's an excellent columnist. His columns were mostly verbal, and
And I miss him.
he's entertaining. They're very good. And so I came across this one that you're about to hear. It's only maybe a minute 20 long, but I wanted you to hear it. It has to do with baseball, and it's an example of kind of what's gone wrong, with a lot of things in society. So let's play that, Sam.
I doubt there's anyone who remembers my 41 years on Dallas TV and radio who will believe this. But baseball was my favorite sport as a boy until it wasn't. Learning the game in the backyard with my dad, listening to Dizzy Dean and Pee Wee Reese on Saturday's Game of the Week, and the trips to Kansas City when the Yankees were in town are the days I will always remember as long as I could remember anything. It is a strange part of my life now. I'm watching TV shows and movies again that I know I've seen, but I don't remember the plot of any of them. And yet I can still name the batting order for the 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates when I was only 12, and the pitching rotation too. But somewhere along the way, I lost my love for the game that used to be America's game. The boys of summer play into November now. The biggest stars should make the biggest checks, but players that no one really pays to see are paid more in a week than most people make in a year. And they don't get 4 months off either. Baseball owners will tell you they still have the cheapest tickets of any of the major sports, and they do. But take your 2 kids to a game and tell me how cheap it is now. God, I hate it. I really do. When I sound like the old man on the porch telling the kids to get off my grass, but I am old. Old enough to remember when baseball wasn't just a great game, it was the greatest game, played by men who were our heroes. We learned later in life that some of them shouldn't have been, but I limped when I ran because Mickey Mantle limped and I thought it looked cool. My old man was so mad when I told him that, he almost gave me a lip. But Mantle reminds me of the argument that I still don't think has been decided. I think Mantle, Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, Joe DiMaggio, Bob Gibson, and Sandy Koufax are just some of the players who played 70 years ago and could still play today. There's not another sport, not another game, where the best players in 56 would be among the best players in 26, except baseball. A friend of mine says that proves the greatness of baseball. It is the perfect game. It always has been. You can't make perfect better, but it's not perfect anymore. Major League Baseball has become a game of home runs and strikeouts and the occasional walk, and that's why I and so many others who loved the game as a boy decided to walk away. I wish I could go back. I wish the game would take me back. Chasing the boys of summer for an autograph in Kansas City when I was a boy are the days I'll always remember until I can't remember anything at all. I doubt there's
Beautiful.
anyone who
That is was an excellent piece. I just so good. Not the way he delivers it, and he used to do that. He didn't do it all the time. It was
On
called
Sunday nights, he had his little special deal,
Unplugged.
unplugged.
Yeah, he called it Unplugged, and so really good. We need to have him on the show here and not talk about politics, but just talk about society and things like
You bet.
what he said. That is an excellent piece, and for me, some of my best memories. He's 77 years old. I'm 64, and I've got a son that's the one in front of me is going to be 22 in a couple of months. The one that's not here is going to be 20. So I've got young children, uh, younger children, and so they keep me young in some respects. But 64 is on the older side of life, and so when I think back to the good old days that he's referring to, the Mickey Mantle limp and all that sort of thing, I think back to when I played Little League and my dad was a coach, and when we won the state championship in Arkansas one year. I'll never forget as the pitcher, I was running to my dad in the dugout and jumped into his arms. There's no price to put on memories like that, and yet today I just saw last night on TikTok an umpire being berated by Little League coaches. The coach comes up to the umpire and points. I don't know if he hit the umpire, but he right there, and the umpire reared back and knocked him in the face with his fist, and then the other hand his mask, and they get into a brawl right there in the dirt. And I'm thinking that would it never it's not that it would have never happened. It never happened. That's not to say there weren't moms who and dads who got mad at umpires back then, but man, those are the wonderful memories. I send Sammy from time to time clips of the old NBA, and that was basketball, man. I would work my calendar so that I could watch a game because it was real basketball. And one of the reasons why I love the Masters is because the Masters have been the Masters for all these years. It's been the Masters. It's not allowed society to. You talked about the prices for food are $1.50 for this, $3 for that. I mean, they don't they don't do anything with their pricing that they didn't do 15, 20 years ago.
Number one reason that it's like that is it publicly held? No. It's tightly privately held.
Yeah, and so they have said we're not going to change. Uh, and in some cases, I mean, they've changed a little bit of the course. I've seen pictures of the 1940s and now, and obviously, it's changed. But actual nature has changed. It had to change. But I think Dale Hansen is right, and it's a wonderful thing to hear him express it. Um, so there you have that. And then the other videos were Shapiro. We'll talk about that later. We've had this on our list to talk about, which are
We keep pushing
our
it back.
podcasters going after each other. People who used to be on the same side now going after each other. What is that one, Sam? Yeah, I will play that one later. But yeah, that'll be a topic for next week. But they're just vicious, like Tucker Carlson and Shapiro and Megyn Kelly, and I mean the left doesn't have to do anything but get out of the way. We're eating each other alive.
Do you know, speaking of podcasters, do you know what you and I and Robert Kennedy Jr. have in common?
Uh,
He just announced he's got a new podcast coming
is
out.
that right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
podcasting is there for everyone for the taking.
Yeah.
All right, home time. What do you
Home
got?
time. Yeah, I tell you, I had something else in mind, and I changed it to this, so I didn't get to my tarnation. But I'm gonna
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
I
gonna
forgot.
make my tarnation quick, and I'm just gonna say I have seen so little of the Artemis coverage, and I asked myself why, and I'm thinking I don't think it has the same intrigue that it used to with the moon launches. You know, you got no landings, you got no moonwalk, you got no spacewalk, you got no docking. Um, we watching plane or rockets take off all the time, and I just don't know. It doesn't captivate me like it used to.
Well, and they didn't touch the moon this
I
time.
know.
So it's
It's just
I mean, I bet you'd watch it if you were told they were going to be
all
stepping
those
on the
things are
moon.
missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they on the way back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that remains constant is I always talk about no gravity in outer space.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'll write a poem on whatever catches my fancy. And one day I just decided I was going to write a poem about gravity because, you know, gravity's pulling on us all the time. It's called a random act of gravity. A random act of gravity is something you can't see. But when something falls near thee, it's because of gravity. I say it quite often when something goes kerplunk. Objects fall with no reason in every single season. If you've never heard this phrase in all your born days, no, I didn't make it up. You can look it up. Wonder why something dropped in an involuntary flop? Well, it's all about Big G always pulling on you and me. 'Twas discovered by Isaac Newton when an apple hit his head. Luckily, he wasn't
Yeah.
dead. His theory arose instead. Ike had discovered gravity. No, this is not levity. He said the center of the earth holds us firmly on our berth. It pulls us day and night with varying geological might. G keeps you on the ground. It keeps us safe and sound. So when something just falls down, you wonder why it did. This unexpected calamity is a random act of gravity. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a mind that would want me to write a poem
Yeah.
about gravity.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Day in history time. What do we
Day in
got?
history time. Okay. We got 7 entries, and I managed to fashion a 10 and 2 with 4 bonuses. And
Dang.
we do something different now since they moved it. We have a today's highlight, and they don't follow the order, they just pull it in. Although in
Okay.
this case, it's at the very beginning, but
All
we're
right.
going to put it at the end.
Okay.
Marian Anderson performed at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. after the black singer was denied the use of Constitution Hall by the Daughters of the American Revolution. There's an active chapter of them in this town, and I know members of it.
Yeah.
1893.
1941.
Very close, 1939.
Starting off hot.
Yeah. Starting off high.
During
And
World
this in the earlier or later century.
during World War II, Germany invaded Denmark and Norway.
1946.
1945.
1940.
Oh wow.
During World War II, there's going to be a bonus for a fact here at the end.
Okay.
During World War II, some 75,000 Philippine and American soldiers surrendered to Japanese troops, ending the Battle of Bataan in the Philippines. The prisoners were subsequently forced to march 65 miles to POW camps and was later known as
I don't know.
the Bataan Death March.
Death March.
Thousands were killed or died along the route. You gotta march 65 miles to
Yeah.
go to a POW camp?
That's a
I'll
long
do
way.
1944.
I'll do 1946.
42 for the bonus.
Okay.
NASA introduced the Mercury 7, its first 7 astronauts. Scott Carpenter, Gordon Cooper, John Glenn, Gus Grissom, Wally Schirra, Alan Shepard, and Donald Deke Slayton.
1964.
72.
59.
I'm
Oh,
there.
good, Sam.
Okay. Funerals, private and public, were held for the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. at the Ebenezer Baptist Church at Morehouse College in Atlanta 5 days after the civil rights leader was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee.
My dad's gonna know this. I'm gonna go 72.
I'm going to say April the 15th, 13th, 1968.
For the bonus.
Ugh.
You're still there,
I
Sam.
was
Good
there.
job. A 5-story residential building exploded and collapsed near the port of Marseille in France, leaving at least 6 people dead and others missing. The pre-dawn collapse occurred in the old quarter of central Marseille, France's second largest city.
89.
88.
2003.
Ooh,
That's a jump.
missed it by that much.
And today's highlight, and I'm going to tell you, it does go back, but you know it because it's Civil War. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his army of Northern Virginia to Union Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant at the village of Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, effectively ending the American Civil War. Remaining Confederate units elsewhere would formally surrender by early 1865, closing out the bloodiest conflict in American soil without further major combat.
I'll say 1867.
1847.
Oh, I meant to say 47.
No, 65.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sam.
Don't let your dad take you down the road
All
of
right, very good.
dereliction, man.
All right, very good. And a couple of things here. Amanda and Angel say, oh, and I'm sorry. Amanda says, beautiful poem to you, Jeff.
Thank
And
you.
there was another one here. Nat Gray, take me back to the ball game. Amen to that. Memories last a lifetime. That's right. I thought there was another poem comment on here. I thought was very good. Melissa gave a stab at 1962. I don't know what question, but we love you guys playing. We love having you all here. That's it for our show for the most part. We do have one more thing and then we'll close here. We have a book called True Facts That Sound Like BS. And so I test the boys every week or twice a week on this. And today,
We
let's
can't
see
get
what you
enough of
do.
this.
More tickets, true or false? More tickets were sold to see Gone with the Wind in theaters than people living in America at its release. So more people than were living in America saw saw the movie in the theaters
I wrote my answer down so
in
so people don't think I'm
1939.
copying off Jeff. Jeff, I'll let you go first.
Well, it's hard to picture that other than if people went time after time after time. But I'm gonna just be a sucker and say false.
I wrote down true.
The answer is true. In
Yes.
1939, America's population was just 130 million. Over 200 million tickets have been sold during Gone with the Wind's theatrical runs.
Got it.
In the whole history of it,
Well, it says more tickets were sold to see the Gone with the Wind in theaters than people living in America at its release. It's kind of it's a bit tricky. Yeah.
I didn't comprehend it
I
right.
won't mark down that you lost this one.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, you better mark down that I won
So,
it.
thank y'all for being here. Nat Great, thank you. Please join us anytime you can. Again, you can watch these shows on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. at a later time, but this is the live version. We are sponsored by Hoosier Custom Meats.com is their website, but Hoosier Custom Meats down in Italy, Texas. Farm raised, ranch raised, great beef, great meats, wonderful family, and I've got a whole thing of it in my refrigerator, so when it's getting warmer now, we'll
Yeah.
grill it. But if you're looking for meat and for gifts and that sort of thing, check out our sponsors at Hoosier Custom Meats and the numbers on the screen. All right, Jeffrey, all
And
yours.
to you new listeners, I'm glad to expose my poetry to you, and you can find my works at poetjeffreylynch.com. So, rest in peace, Jim Hadfield, who died at 70 last week, and have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face.